Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the academic procession?
Quick, to the academic quadrangle.
Actually, technically. Ms. Kristen Shifka, a staff member in the Department of Student Services, will lead us in the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. I declare the October 2008 Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Mr. President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty and honored guests, graduates, and friends. My name is Brant Louie, and I am the Chancellor of this university. This is our 42nd annual Convocation, and we are delighted and honored to have in attendance today a number of distinguished guests on the platform and in the audience. A very special welcome is given to Dr. Nancy McKinstry, Chair of our Board of Governors. With us also is the Honourable Lance Finch, Chief Justice of the Court of Appeal of British Columbia, Dr. Jack Blaney, President Emeritus of Simon Fraser University, Mr. Richard Lee, MLA for Burnaby North, and Mr. John Narani, MLA for Burnaby-Willington. Welcome to you all. I am pleased also to welcome our audience from around the world joining us via the internet through today's live webcast. Welcome to you all. This afternoon, an honorary doctorate of laws will be conferred on Martha Piper. The convocation ceremony is a proud tradition, a rite of passage. It is a celebration of achievement and a time when we come together to usher in an important beginning. Today marks the start of a new journey for you, one made possible by your unfailing commitment to your studies, to excellence, and to the achievements of your goals. Today you stand with your families and friends who have supported and encouraged you over the past few years, and who are here with you in celebration of your success. Today you also stand with your fellow students and teachers, faculty and staff, the people who have been part of your academic journey, and you are in great company. Education is about connecting with great thoughts and opinions. It is also a lifelong exchange of ideas, an ongoing dialogue, and one that is just beginning. During your time at Simon Fraser University, you have all benefited from the diversity of thought, opinion, talent, and ideas to which you have been exposed. As you prepare to embark on the next chapter, I hope you will do so with an appreciation of the core philosophies on which this university was built, that learning is a lifelong journey, one that is rich with discovery. As the graduates you have come before you, the ones that are destined to follow, you face a future overflowing with both opportunities and obstacles. You will encounter both uncertainties and possibilities, and how you apply your skills, talents, and learning will continue to define you in this increasingly global world community. Globalization is primarily regarded as an economic phenomenon. It is used to describe an ever-increasing interaction and integration of economic systems around the world. There is, however, another important aspect to this concept: the ever-increasing social, cultural, and technological exchange that has resulted from the unprecedented growth of the Internet. We are all acutely aware that this expanding global interconnectivity is redefining our future and our present. And in 2008, the Olympic Games that took place in Beijing this past August have proved a compelling example of this new reality. For 2 weeks, the world's attention was captivated by the Olympics. Billions of people worldwide watched the Games in person, on television, and online. Technology links us with the world as part of a shared global experience in a way we have never seen before. The Olympic Committee's decision to allow China to host the Games was a controversial one. In the time leading up to the Games, this choice served to shine the spotlight of the world's attention on many of the issues and ideals of our global family: human rights, the environment, technology, security, the economy, and even sports. But there's probably no better example of the significance of these Games than the official slogan of the 2008 Olympics itself: "One world, one dream." A simple expression with a profound and far-reaching meaning. The official Olympic website describes the "One World, One Dream" slogan as an expression of a shared dream of unity, friendship, progress, and participation. Anatole France, poet, author, and journalist, once said, "To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe." One world, one dream built on this ideal. The world watched these Olympics together. One world joining as part of one shared experience. We watched the best of our best athletes compete for gold. With remote access to the Internet now possible anywhere on the planet, we are connected in a way that has transcended the historical boundaries of distance and borders. Beijing was the Green Olympics, it was the People's Olympics, and it was the high-tech Olympics. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The future depends on what we do in the present." And even as we look towards the next technological advance and global innovations, we need to be aware of the impact and consequences of our choices on future generations. Millions were spent in Beijing to ensure the zero net emissions commitment made by China was achieved. The strong focus on environmental protection that was part of the planning, designing, and building of the Olympic venues showcased some of the latest and most innovative advancements in environmentally friendly construction methods and materials. The importance of going green is now a shared global priority, and consistent with our own role as leaders and pioneers, Simon Fraser University is breaking new ground in this area. From our new Faculty of the Environment, scheduled to open next year, to the Green Page web portal now featured on our website, Simon Fraser has proven itself as a leader in this important area. During your time at Simon Fraser University, you have been encouraged to explore your potential and expand your thinking. You understand the importance of thinking big, thinking innovation, and thinking globally. You are the architects and builders of the future. You are the next generation of pioneers and explorers, and your ability to leverage technology and use it to create new knowledge will be critical to your future. As Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than one that you are capable of living." For the athletes who compete on the Olympic stage, all their training, perseverance, and commitment is aimed at achieving excellence in that one all-important moment of competition. The winning or losing seems to take place in that moment. But this is an illusion. Winning or losing is a culmination of all the steps of the journey, and winning or losing is not the destination, but merely another step in a greater journey. As you choose the new paths you will take, you can be proud that you are part of our own global community of over 100,000 Simon Fraser University alumni. Simon Fraser students who have stood where you stand today are now our ambassadors, inspiring youth, pioneering world first, awakening social consciousness, and leading companies worldwide. You are part of an alumni community that includes alumni Carol Huyn, who brought home Canadian gold for wrestling in Beijing. In fact, today you can stand proudly with all 8 current and former Simon Fraser athletes who were part of the 2008 Olympic team, and today they can stand proudly with you. It was Aristotle who said, "You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an event, it is a habit." You have achieved excellence, and I know you will continue to leverage the experience and learning you've had at Simon Fraser University to help us continue to build on our reputation for innovation, pioneering, and excellence. In closing, I want to leave you with the words that speak to this ideal of innovation and discovery from the author and poet Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "Do not go where the path may lead. And go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." I want to thank you and congratulate all of you. I now call on our president, Dr. Michael Stevenson.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to add my warm welcome to Simon Fraser University and to this great convocation. We're delighted that so many friends and family can join us in celebrating the achievements of those who graduate today. Ladies and gentlemen of the graduating class, each of you has much to be proud of today. You have met the very high standards of this university, and the degrees you receive shortly will certify your expertise in a specialized field of study, as well as your analytic and communication skills and the creative and critical skills that are the mark of the university graduate. You are about to enter a labor market that urgently needs such skills, and which rewards university graduates with better career choices and higher incomes as compared to those who do not graduate from a first-class university. And although you have much to look forward as a result, you can take nothing for granted. You happen to be graduating at just the time that the American and world economy may be suffering the worst decline of financial markets and the most serious reversal of economic growth since the Great Depression. The startling developments of the past few weeks underline the complications and confusions of our time. So I want to discuss these matters briefly, even at the risk of deferring your richly deserved celebration. The movement over the last quarter century or so to lessen the size and cost of the state and to liberate the market from bureaucratic regulation and inefficiency has been characterized by contradictory trends. For example, the promise of less government has been undercut by the continued growth, if redirection, of government spending. The promise of the free market has been undercut by the irrational exuberance of poorly regulated capital markets. The assurance of better services has been undercut by the health and safety threats in deregulated water, power, and food systems, or the increased visibility of homelessness and drug addiction following the deinstitutionalization of mental health care. Domestic wars on drugs or crime are as ineffective in achieving their announced objectives as the international war on terror. And claims to political superiority grounded in the defense of human rights and civil liberties are devalued by arbitrary arrest and the abrogation of legal rights in defense of homeland security, or by the more general pressure to liberate executive from judicial restraint. For reasons like these, the events of the last few weeks underline the limits of American and North American domination, whether economic, military, or political. The world is a much different place than it was even a decade ago when we celebrated the advent of this new millennium. As new university graduates, you know the world is a much more complicated and dangerous place. You know that it is not only a question of the rapid restructuring of economic and political power in the global market and international order. It is also a question of the life of the planet itself, of fundamental changes in climate and ecosystems, the intensified risks of natural disaster and reduced biodiversity, and the hugely complex issues of adapting to and mitigating environmental change. Despite the magnitude of these challenges and despite the rhetorical drumbeat of electioneering calls for change, the response so far is not encouraging. Governing and opposition parties still vie for the embrace of lower taxes, knowing apparently that most of us will favor a marginal increase in private consumption over collective investment in public infrastructure and services. Courageous leadership on climate issues, as in this province, is the exception rather than the rule, and it is met with opportunistic opposition to carbon taxes unless they be levied on someone other than ourselves. Public investment in the arts, as a means of building the creative economy and improving the quality of life, is opposed as a sop to cultural elites and a subsidy to work that affronts the political and moral sensibilities of ordinary men and women, as great art tends to do when it is first produced. And public investments in education, so urgently required in order to rethink the fundamentals of our ways of life and to redefine long-term strategies of change, are increasingly targeted to the short-term demands of the existing labor market and to the shortest possible return on investment through the commercialization of research. Serious discussion of these and other issues is muted by the forces governing our electoral politics. In the age of mass communication, simple plurality first past the post-electoral systems force convergence on issues and differentiation on image. Trash advertising and spin, targeted differentially to different demographics, manipulate political sentiment and undermine rational political discussion. But we are not locked in an iron cage, helpless against external forces. Younger, more highly educated citizens like you are able to confront the contradictory circumstances you otherwise inherit. Your powers of critical thinking and rational argument are greater than the powers of deception and denial. Your powers of organization, mobilization, and persuasion reflect your sophisticated understanding of web-based communication and networking. You are the most active participants in new social movements that will have greater influence on our future than the organizations of the past. So as you graduate today with all the benefits of your university education, recognize that the crisis tendencies that dominate our news today are a sign of challenge and opportunity. Accept your inheritance at SFU of exploring innovative alternatives to the status quo and stay true to our commitment to thinking of the world. Confront the bankrupt formulations of the past and take the lead in articulating new directions for the future. On behalf of all of us at SFU, our very sincere hopes for your success in taking up the challenges of leadership in our society. Our very warm congratulations for all you have achieved at this university, and our very best wishes for your future success and happiness. Congratulations to you all.
The honorary degree will now be conferred. Mr. President, will you present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. Martha Piper?
Mr. Chancellor, Martha Piper's remarkable understanding of the role of research universities in the modern world, her inspirational leadership in a number of Canada's leading universities, and her peerless advocacy for the collective interests of universities in this country have placed her in the front rank nationally and internationally amongst leaders in higher education. After completing her PhD at McGill, she assumed the post of Director of the School of Physical and Occupational Therapy at that institution. In 1985, she joined the University of Alberta as Dean of the Faculty of Rehabilitation Medicine and later became Vice President, Research and External Affairs. Throughout these years, she conducted her own very important investigations into the early detection of mental and physical disability in children. Her reputation as an outstanding researcher and an astute administrator soon led to appointments to the National Advisory Board on Science and Technology and to the Board of the Advisory Council on Science and Technology. In 1997, she became President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of British Columbia, and this province has been the grateful beneficiary of her vision ever since. Her belief in the vital economic and social benefits that accrue from research, and her conviction that knowledge can thrive only in a civil society, inspired not only the entire university world, but also the broader community we serve. Her compelling leadership succeeded in establishing UBC as an international leader in education and research, forged strategic relationships to enhance the university, attracted unprecedented levels of federal and provincial research funding, and established new records in private philanthropic support. Martha Piper's encompassing vision extended well beyond local and regional boundaries and helped to create a national agenda for innovation. She was a catalyst in establishing the Canada Foundation for Innovation and the Canada Research Chairs program. She served also as a board member for numerous organizations, including the Alberta Research Council, the Association of Universities and Colleges of Canada, and the Canada Millennium Scholarship Foundation. In 2005, she was appointed a public governor of the board of the Canadian Academies of Science. And that same year, the Globe and Mail recognized her as one of 5 Canadian nation builders. Several universities have recognized Martha Piper's significant and lasting achievement with honorary degrees. She is an officer of the Order of Canada and a recipient of the Order of British Columbia. Mr. Chancellor, today this university is pleased to recognize an outstanding colleague, and on behalf of the Senate of the university, I ask that you now confer upon Martha Piper the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Martha Piper, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Dr. Piper will be hooded by Dr. John Driver, Vice President, Academics, and Ms. Kate Roth, Registrar.
It is with pleasure that I now call on Dr. Martha Piper for her convocation address. Dr. Piper?
Thank you very much. Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, Graduates, family, and friends, thank you. Thank you so very much for this honor. I would like to thank the Senate for the incredible honor that you bestow upon me today. I am especially pleased to be standing among you, members of the class of 2008, as we receive our degrees. And if you doubt that, let me tell you about my mother. My mother is 92, still intellectually engaged, still taking university courses that are offered at the seniors' residence where she lives. She graduated from the University of Michigan in 1938, so she has known the value of an education for a very long time. But for the past decade or so, she has been just a little uncertain about what her daughter has been up to. She asked me once, just after I was appointed president at UBC, "What do you do?" It was always a difficult question to answer. As president, it was always hard for me to offer a succinct, self-assured, and compelling response to my mother's question about the importance of my work. But I can tell you this. When I talked with her last week and shared with her the fact I was coming here today, when I told her about receiving this degree, I knew she was proud. I knew that she recognized, as every parent today at this ceremony recognizes, that whatever I've been up to for the last little while, an outstanding university in this country has judged it to be worthy. So this is assuredly an honor for me and a gift that I can give my mother, and for that, I thank you. I also want to say to those of you who are graduating today, how fortunate you are to be receiving your degree from this great university. I have had many occasions over the past decade to interact with SFU, its students, its faculty, its administrators. I have had the privilege of working with and learning from this extraordinary institution, experiencing firsthand its academic and research excellence. This is a university that has distinguished itself not only in this province and in Canada, but in this world. This is a great university. I would also like to add how fortunate I have been to forge special relationships with your current president, Dr. Michael Stevenson, and your previous president, Dr. Jack Blaney, who is also with us today. Believe me, I know from personal experience the impact these two men have had on post-secondary education in this province and this country, and I want to take this opportunity to thank them for their friendship and applaud them for the remarkable contributions they have made to universities in general and to Simon Fraser in particular. I tend to be an optimist. I think it's important to count your blessings, and I have to say that I have come by this tendency honestly. My father was the most positive person I have ever known. He had a great sense of humor and was extremely easygoing despite living in a chaotic household with 4 children. Having said that, there was one thing that would always irritate him, and that was whining. He had a low tolerance for our complaining, fighting, or angry outbursts. His constant response to any of his children when we encountered problems or conflicts was, use your schoolhouse. Use your schoolhouse. As a young child, I was not absolutely certain what he meant, other than I should try to figure out a different response from the one I was currently contemplating. As I grew older, I began to recognize that using your schoolhouse meant using one's brains, one's education, one's knowledge and experience to craft positive solutions. But what I have now come to appreciate is that what using your schoolhouse really means is that I have a choice. Confronted by any problem, I can choose to see the state of the world or my personal affairs in a negative light, or I can choose to apply my intellect, insight, and determination to create positive solutions. Using your schoolhouse, remaining positive when confronted with adversity. While I know this may seem counterintuitive, in today's world, I believe we need to retain a broader perspective. Thomas Friedman, in his bestseller, The World is Flat, reflects on the past decade and a half and the two dates that have powerfully shaped our lives. 11/9, the date the Berlin Wall was dismantled, and 9/11, the date that the World Trade Center was destroyed. One brought down a concrete wall and opened the windows of the world, and the other brought down a building and put up new invisible walls between people around the world. The dismantling of the Berlin Wall on 11/9 was brought about by people who dared to imagine a different, more open world, one where every human being would be free to realize his or her full potential. The attack on the World Trade Center on 9/11 was brought about by people who imagined a world of hatred and made careers of exporting fear. According to Friedman, these two dates represent the two competing forms of imagination at work in the world today. The creative imagination of 11/9 and the destructive imagination of 9/11. He then asks the critical question, how do we nurture a more hopeful, life-affirming, and tolerant imagination in ourselves and others? His answer is simple. Those of us who are fortunate enough to live in free and progressive societies have to set an example. We must retain our optimism. We cannot retreat from the world. We must use our knowledge and understanding and be the best global citizens we can be. We must use our schoolhouse. Your time here at SFU has prepared you to do just that, to be the best global citizens that you can be, to retain your optimism, to craft solutions to the problems of the world by taking action, assuming roles on the world stage and in your local community, leading by example, and developing creative rather than destructive imaginations. You have been thinking of the world. When I look out today at you, my fellow graduates, even knowing the financial and social challenges we face, I know there is hope. I see a new generation of engineers, teachers, health professionals, business leaders, artists, and scientists with the skills and the resources to challenge the world's most difficult issues. It goes without saying that I personally have no idea what any of you have been up to for the past 4 or 5 or 6 years. But I do know something about the standard of education here at SFU, one of Canada's leading universities. So I do know how well prepared you are to step up to the challenge of citizenship in this fragile world. And I hope that just as your lives have been powerfully shaped by the tragedy of 9/11, your futures will be energized by the inspiration of 11/9. I hope your futures are dedicated to tearing down walls, reconciling misunderstandings, and creating a peaceful world and a civil and sustainable society. Do that, and you will do more than make your mothers happy. You will save the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Piper. Ladies and gentlemen, as a part of this graduation ceremony, the Simon Fraser University Alumni Association will present a pin to each of the graduates as they leave the stage. Dr. Joanne Archibald is a lecturer, author, educator, and academic, and an alumnus of this university. She is widely respected as a pioneer in the advancement of First Nations education. Dr. Archibald was supervisor of the Native Indian Teachers Education Program, providing teaching, mentoring, and advising for many First Nations graduate students. She has published frequently and has served as editor of the Canadian Journal of Native Education. She received the Justice Achievement Award in 1995 for her development of First Nations justice curriculum and the National Aboriginal Achievement Award for Education in 2000. It is a pleasure to invite Dr. Archibald to the podium to bring greetings to the graduates. Dr. Archibald.
I would first like to acknowledge and thank the First Nations Tsleil-Waututh people for allowing us to be on their traditional territory today. On behalf of the Alumni Association, it is my privilege and pleasure to congratulate you all on your graduation. Today, as you begin your lives as members of the alumni community, you join over 100,000 SFU graduates worldwide. As you cross the stage, I will be presenting you with an alumni pin. I encourage you to wear it proudly as a symbol of your achievement and of your alumni status. Wherever life takes you in the future, we hope that you will keep the SFU spirit alive and well, and that you will stay connected to your alma mater and your fellow alumni. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Archibald. Before the graduates are presented individually to the Chancellor, Ms. Raj Sangara, a member of the graduating class, will address Convocation. While receiving her master's degree in education, Ms. Sangara has presented at 2 national conferences, worked as a research assistant, and able to publish a piece in Boy Culture and Encyclopedia. And during this time, she has worked full-time as a grade 7 public school teacher. She is currently in the doctoral program in the Languages, Cultures, and Literacies stream in education. I'm now pleased to call upon Ms. Raj Sangara.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, family, friends, faculty, and the graduates of 2008. When I initially received the call asking if I'd like to give a speech during Convocation, my first reaction was shock, quickly followed by fear and trepidation. Thus, in order to cure my neuroses, I visited the one person I knew who could give me a shot of confidence I so desperately needed, my mother. My mother has been my reliable medicine when I need courage, fortitude, and comfort. My father, on the other hand, has been that chronic pain that never seems to go away. However, this pain is a necessary and desired affliction because it pushes your thinking, challenges your perspectives, and demands you bring passion. The reason why I bring up my parents today before all of you is because without them, I would not be standing here today. There is a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, meaning that responsibility is shared by everyone in the village, ensuring the child is healthy, safe, and successful. Caregivers may include a mother, father, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, cousins, and family friends. Thus, today, we do not stand as individuals, but as an embodiment of those who have also helped raise us. It is our caregivers who have had a hand in our success today. This day is not only about the graduating class of 2008, but those who have walked this journey with us. They are the ones who have provided doses of encouragement in times of frustration, who have given us heaps of strength in times of weakness, and who have doled out hope in times of hopelessness. However, their journey is often the less celebrated one, the one where surprise parties are not given, degrees are not bestowed, and congratulations not extended. And so today, I wish to celebrate them, our silent graduates. Today, graduates, keep in mind that your accomplishments aren't something you own, but something you share with those that have and continue to raise you. As I walk across the stage today, I accept my master's degree on behalf of several individuals, such as my parents, Darshan and Govinder Sangera, Sandeep, Amin, and Balraj. For my achievement has been the result of my villagers who have carried, pushed, and at times dragged me to the finish line, which I cross here today. My success has been built upon the backs of my caregivers. Thus, on behalf of the graduating class, I would like to thank our caregivers for their patience, devotion, and unwavering commitment. Today is your day as much as it is ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sangara. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduands please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University, and I request that you confer upon each one the degree for which he or she is now recommended.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Will the graduates please be seated?
Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the graduating class will now be presented individually to the Chancellor, but before they are, just a few requests on matters of procedure. Would you please refrain from applauding the individual members of the graduating class until each group of degrees has been conferred? This does not forbid spontaneous expressions of enthusiasm. As a courtesy to others, would you please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony? And would the graduates please return to your seats following receipt of your degrees? The degrees in the Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Health Sciences will now be conferred. Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Wade Parkhouse, will announce the names of the candidates for graduate degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education. The candidates will be hooded by Dr. Suzanne de Castel, Dean Pro Tem of the Faculty of Education. Thank you. Dr. Stephanie Tay Lee Chu. Dr. Chu was supervised by Dr. Winnie. Dr. Catherine Patton. Dr. Patton was supervised by Dr. Campbell. Dr. Cheryl Sanderson. Dr. Sanderson was supervised by Dr. Jackson and Dr. Culhane. Dr. Ye Fong Tai. Dr. Tai was supervised by Dr. Kaufman. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree Doctor of Education in the Faculty of Education. Dr. Sheila Elworthy. Dr. Elworthy was supervised by Dr. Labrie. Dr. Armand Sanami. Dr. Samami was supervised by Dr. Latish. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in the Faculty of Education. Shuquin Jin. Bavinder Singh Vaid. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree Master of Education in the Faculty of Education. Carolyn Ashabab. Kevin James Abo. Monica Anderson. Lorna Andrews. Mary Archie. Val Arneson. Jeremy Berg. Rashima Bedar Singh. Elizabeth Budner. Albert Baker. Lorraine Baker. Eric Belzarni. Leah Barrington. Diane Batty. Elan Marie Bowder. Michelle Beauchamp. Lise Birkland. Lindsay Ann Blockley. Paul Bosenalt. Timothy Booker. Krista Bowes. Rochelle Brigg. John Broman. Anelma Brown. Patricia Brownlee Baker. Okay. Squatase. Claudine Bunyan. David Caccioni. Brenda Kelneck. Sean Chambers. Louise Charland. Kirsten Checkley. Kenneth Cheng. Samuel Cheng. Lisa Chu. Rachel Chin. Nancy Chong. Darlene Kellerbergs. Tracy Rico Morikawa. Sarah Dawson. Adriana Donison. Jacqueline Dufresne. Kenneth Edward Eplick. Sharon English. Marina Linens. John Erickson. Suzanne Fengler. Samara Fernandez. Nelson Gerard. Ray Girard. Kathleen Graham. Gavin Hanna. Jacqueline Harrison. Tammy Hartman. Christina Henrik. Linda Patricia Holmes. Kenneth Housam. Linda Hurst. Timo Ikonen. Deidre Blanche James. June James. Charlene Jameson. Ann Jeffries. Catherine Jickling. Hardeep Kaur Johal. Wee Lee Johns. Martin Jones. Sergio Jocara. Lise Robin Jurok. Gary Kang. James Kelly. Anissa Kermode. Pauline Kesteven. Robert Killowy. Barbara Kolbas. Krista Cochin. Elaine Christensen. Corey Langford. Joanne Lapointe. Andrew Latter. Mimi Kim. Gary Lozinski. Okay. Sarah McFadden. Allison Mann Van Wormixen. Todd Manuel. Lisa Matkovic. Diane Maxwell. Josie Mazzarola. Derek Lachlan McCracken. Mark McDonald. Gail McIntosh. Shannon McLaughlin. Lori Meadus. Robert Miller. Louise Morris. Linda Mullen. Johannes Meinhardt. Carmen Mael Nakash. Kim Nichols. Kirsten Nordby. Leanne Nosk. Marianne O'Hara. Michael Parkins. Gitu Parmar. Linda Peterson. Adrian Richters. Catherine Michelle Robb. Jolene Roberge. Cindy Romanowski. Joanne Rooney. Raj Shanghara. Leah Scarf. Lee Shirag. Michael Scott. Catherine Seaborn. Seaborn. Beverly Sinclair. Lori Sinclair. Roy Sen. Todd Stewart Reiner. Parihan Suja. Karen Summers. Sabrina Husseini Simons. Hussein Ali. Hussein Ali Simons. Deborah Ann Thorvaldsen. Tyann. Henderson Tran. Mary Lou Francis Trinkwan. Claire Turner. David Turner. Shirley Turner. Diane Margaret Singunakis. Angela Utley. Jennifer Marie Vishnuk. Timothy Viola. Andrea Warham. Susan Ann Weber. Hannah Wellwood. Christopher Weeb. Harmony Wilson. Christine Wong. Jackie Urich. Christine Zapasaki. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree Master of Science in the Faculty of Health Sciences. Alexa Abijawdi. Mana Bayanzadi. Emma Cohen. Rachel Mackey. Megan Wagler.
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean Pro Tem of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Suzanne de Castel, will announce the names of the candidates for undergraduate degrees in her faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Education in the Faculty of Education. Tara Abernathy. Margot Arend. Kelly Judith Arnold. Alyssa Becker. Lindsay Belzer. Karen Bennett. Brianna Bentley. Brian Best. Bhargava, Arnel Bhargava. Excuse me. Danielle Booth. Elizabeth Bowie. Thank you. Melissa Carr. Jocelyn Chan. Jennifer Chad. Randy Clark. Katie DeJong. Avio Denise. Anna Donaldson. Nicole Ebing. Danielle Edwards. Jennifer Jamal. Diana Ercheg. Jennifer Fain. Sarah Favreau. Christina Fernandez. Stephanie Firos. Andrea Flett. Trista Fuller. Eva Gazzo, Mankarat Gill, Navjot Gill, Avril Gillis, Gillian Godfrey, Catherine Henderson, Christine Ickert, Janet Ikeda, Arsala Irshad, Jaswal Parmjit, Leah Judd, Norm Caitler, Christina Canavos, Brian Keniston, Jessica Knight, Amanda Lamb, Dhiren Kumar, Marianne Larson, Candice Lauer, Tom Levesque, Christopher Lewis, Charlotte Lightburn, Sue Laux, Linda Loudon Hill, hi, Angela Lundeen, Erin McGinley, can you help me out? Katie McKelgan Jonas, thank you. Kimberly McKinnon, Lee McMartin, Jennifer Mercier, Carissa Moon, Janine Mach, Nanda Sarika, James Naylor, Paul Novakowski, Jessica Pelat, Leah Pau Curry Benabo, Anna Philpott, Allison Pooley, Munita Devi Prasad, Jennifer Parveen Rai, Stephanie Richmond, Sarah Richter, Christy Runa, Sharon Sahota, Jessely Diana Schaff, Jacqueline Seltzer, Jessica Seltzer, Nigasa Shimizu, Manu Singh, Caroline Spear, Catherine Sefton, Veronica Stewart, Tamala Stockelly, Michael Stuziak, Nicole Summers, Christina Suto, Shannon Sutton, Georgina Swan, Jessica Taggart, Adam Taylor. Ivy Teo. Jennifer Thibodeau. Danielle Nicole Thomas. Kim Timothy. Carol Sang. Krista Maria Van Clay. Monica Verma Pearson. Vicky Vinarik Kidd. Greta Vischer. Teresa Ward. Brianna Watson. Audrey Wong. Gina Yorston. Christina Zanato.
Mr. Chancellor, the diplomas and certificates in the faculties of Applied Sciences, Arts and Social Sciences, Business Administration, Education and Science will now be conferred. The deans of the faculties will call the names of the students in their respective programs.
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the students in the Faculty of Applied Sciences who have completed the requirements for diplomas and certificates. Jay Chung. Stanislava Banasova. Darwin Wan.
Thank you, Dean Lewis. I failed to introduce you. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Dr. Leslie Cormack, will announce the names of those completing certificates in her faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the students in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences who have completed the requirements for diplomas and certificates. Evangeline Eng. Christina Vandermeer. Joanna Liuta. Yang Shi. Amir Mostarzada. Jason Brown. Rebecca Cadger. Daphne Fan Su Chui. Charlena Fan. Joash Fang. Jimmy Hao King. Kirsten Lind Peterson. Maria Mena. Christopher Nordgren. Shalene Phillip. Julia Simon. Leah Chikala. Daniel William Wong. Wendy Barber. Bryn Ellen McIntyre. Sonchitsa Karamani.
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will do service for the Dean of the Faculty of Business Administration by announcing the names of the diploma candidates in that faculty.
Absolutely. Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for the Graduate Diploma in Business Administration. Vanna Babik, Alexandra Brown, Samuel Budi Raharjo, Horia Buzgar, John Chen, Maisam Dastrayari, Neil Dolakaria, Ovidiu Gologan, Donald Kim, Randall Law, Monisha Ravendra, Kim Tang, Renhee Zhu,
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean Pro Tem of Education, Dr. Suzanne de Castell, will announce the names of the candidates for diplomas and certificates in her faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for the diplomas and certificates in education. Nancy Buckles, Christy Gourlay, Ryan Landau, Mei Chen, Lori Davis, Patricia Dean, Karen Bibot, Elfrida Epp, Angela Gould, last name, Brenda Greshmiel, Gordon Keller, Russell McMath, Deborah Malloway, Linda Peterson, Irene Penelope Morrison, Sarah Catherine Neufeld, Jerry Pope, Laurie Poulin, Elaine Reagan, Carol Rogers, Susan Rogerson, Christine Sempton, Betty Wilson, Rajit Boparag, Sarbi Dami, Eva Erdos, Rupinder Gill, Parvinder Kak, Ludmila Kovalevska, Barbara Kristofichova, Daniela Laurentiu, Marlene Maria Elena Cruz, Rajwan Jasal, Shamsur Singh,
Mr. Chancellor, the Acting Dean of Health Sciences, Dr. Craig Janes, will announce the names of the candidates for diploma in his faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for the graduate diploma in global health and health sciences. Dennis Easter.
Mr. Chancellor, the Dean of Science, Dr. Michael Plischke, will announce the names of candidates for certificates and diplomas in his faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present the students who have completed the requirements for the certificates and diplomas in science. Anita Alam.
Will the graduating class please rise? I congratulate each of you on the completion of your degree, which is an impressive achievement, and I ask your friends and family to join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2008. And now I invite you, the members of the graduating class, to reciprocate by thanking your family and friends, faculty and staff, all who have helped you achieve this goal. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some candidates recommended by the Senate for degrees today are unable to be present, and their names have therefore not been read out. I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown on the program. Before we adjourn, I'd like to thank a few people for a very smooth Convocation Day. First of all, for all of you in the audience for coming up onto the mountain on such a nice, sunny, and beautiful, dry day. To the many volunteer staff, faculty members, coordinated by Student Services and Ceremonies and Events Office who have worked together to run such a smooth convocation, thank you. And to members of our world champion Simon Fraser University Pipe Band Organization for their special contribution to Convocation. We are very, very proud of the band who won the World Pipe Band Championship in Glasgow this summer. And they will perform in after the ceremony in the square directly behind the platform. Now this brings a close to the formal part of this afternoon's convocation, and you are all invited to attend a reception to be held in the James Douglas Room behind the platform to your right following the ceremony. Would you please rise and remain standing at your places until the platform party has recessed.